Hey guys, welcome to the final video in my draft pick series for Marvel Rivals. It's been a really fun ride making these videos for you guys, and I really can't wait to see what NetEase comes up with next. Now I know for many true believers and gamers, it's just not a Marvel or X-Men game without characters like Wolverine, Storm, or Jean, but for me, that pivotal character is Robert Drake, aka Bobby, aka Iceman. Bobby by far is my favorite X-Men character even before I started reading comics, before I started playing video games, and it's all thanks to the portrayal of the character in the original trilogy in the 2000s by Shawn Ashmore. Trying to condense this character's lore and history and what this character means to me as a hero, which is take for fucking ever. But as to the reason why I think he should be in Rivals, well, that really only needs 3 words. Omega Level Mutant. Now, I know for the most part that NetEase is trying to push Luna Snow as their main ice-powered mutant in their universe, but I feel like there's more than enough room to include both Luna and Bobby on the roster. Being one of my favorite characters, I also didn't want to make him too overpowered just because he's my favorite, but I'd be lying if I said I didn't make his kit cooler than everyone else's. Yeah, I'm sorry, I'll see myself out. Iceman, or Bobby as I'm going to call him for the rest of the video because I'm just that familiar with the character, is a ranged damage character using his ice and cold manipulation powers to take down his enemies. Bobby's primary fire is Frost Blast. This allows him to fire a stream of ice at his enemies, applying his passive. Bobby's passive is called Cryogenesis. This allows Bobby to freeze enemies for 1 second upon receiving stacks of his passive, known as stacks of cold. Bobby needs 7 stacks in order to freeze an enemy. Stacks last for 2 seconds and start fading after 1 second. Bobby's first ability is called Spike Blast. Bobby summons ice spikes from the ground that damages enemies, also applying 2 stacks of his passive. This is on an 8-second cooldown. Bobby's second ability is called Ice Trail. He conjures a trail of ice that increases his movement speed, allowing him to go fast in any direction he chooses. This is a resource ability that can be toggled, allowing him up to 6 seconds of increased movement speed. While not using this ability, it recharges every 0.5 seconds. Bobby's third ability is called Ice Clone. Bobby summons 2 ice clones on either side of himself that last 5 seconds. Each clone has 70 health and follows Bobby's direction whichever way he goes, firing icicles at enemies, granting 1 stack of his passive per icicle hit. This ability is on a 16-second cooldown. Bobby's fourth ability is called Ice Wall. Yes, another ice character with an ice wall. Like I said, character archetypes. Bobby is able to summon a wall of ice that has 300 HP that allows him to block enemy damage as well as enemy movement. The wall lasts for 8 seconds. Bobby can reactivate this ability to destroy the wall early. If the wall still exists, and Bobby has a second ability, Ice Trail, Bobby can rush into the wall, exploding it onto enemies and shooting ice shards towards them, dealing damage, also applying 2 stacks of his passive. The ice wall itself, lasting 8 seconds, if not destroyed by the enemy or Bobby, goes on cooldown for 5 seconds. Bobby's ultimate is called Sub-Zero. Bobby summons a snowstorm that does minor damage to enemies, slowing them and applying 3 stacks of his passive before forming a giant boulder of ice, dropping on enemies, stunning them for 1 second, and dealing immense damage. Now I know as an ultimate it sounds a bit broken, but again, listen, this is an ultimate, it's a game changer, it's meant to win a fight, to take out a very valuable enemy. So essentially it just slows down enemies does minor damage and applies the passive, even though characters are being slowed within the ultimate itself, they can still escape using their movement abilities as well as getting out of the way before the big ice boulder does the immense damage to them. Also bear in mind, the ultimate itself already applies 3 stacks of its passive, and Bobby's primary fire already applies 1 stack of the passive per second onto an enemy. So if he hits you with the ultimate, it immediately applies 3. If he hits you with 4 additional primary fire shots, you will be frozen for 1 second, allowing the boulder to hit you. So again, there is playability around it, but again, it also gives Bobby the opportunity to get his damage off. I know it's sad that initially I would try to avoid using big Marvel names or big comic names, but Bobby's just a character I couldn't see not wanting in Rivals. He also fits the ice character archetype in many modern multiplayer games, namely Mei from Overwatch, Evie from Paladins, and Sage from Valorant. For skins, Bobby doesn't really wear all that much clothes, and some of his costumes are a bit, well, not great, but I'd be lying if I said that NetEase, please use his Hellfire Gala designs. I love them so much, and I feel like he just has so much design potential aside of just a guy that's just fully ice. I'd love to see a Shawn Ashmore skin. That's just for me, but like, you know, I just love Shawn Ashmore's portrayal in the X-Men movie so much, and I think he's such a cool guy too. And I just think there's so many other potential designs you could do for him as well. I mean, look what they've done for his character in a game like Super War. There were many other characters I wanted to include in my draft pick videos for Rivals, but I just ultimately couldn't get to all of them. Other characters I wanted to include were characters like Madeline Pryor, aka the Goblin Queen, Julio Richter, and Nico Minoru in the support category, characters like Emma Frost or Morbius in the tank category, and I just didn't want to throw them all into damage. But feel free to suggest any characters in the comments below you think I could make a kit for. Anyway guys, that's all I got on my side today. Feel free to subscribe for future videos, hit the like button, or leave a comment below if you found this interesting, and I'll see you guys on the next one.